Guys, thank you very much for tuning into another video of my life, and in this video we are going to do an unboxing of the King C Gillette double-edged safety razor. Now, it's been a couple of years since I've been interested and looking into double-edged safety razors, mainly out of curiosity, and they look very cool. But I think there was a huge push a couple of years ago, although it isn't that much anymore, where there was a kind of marketing push of double-edged safety razors being superior to the cartridge razors. There was also a hipster movement, which I think has kind of died down a little bit. If you remember, a few years ago, there was a huge hipster movement. And it was all over the memes and everything else like that as well. Around the same time, I remember there was a lot of double-edged safety razor marketing going on as well. They were saying all sorts of things like, oh, the reason the double-edged safety razors died out was because of marketing, because Gillette lost their patent. It expired and they had to come up with something else to sell to men so they could continue making money and all sorts of things. I'm a bit skeptical about all that, and it's so prominent, all of those things online in forums and stuff, that if you actually go online and search on any AI and you ask them the reasons why the double-edged safety razors is better, or why cartridge razors are better, or why cartridge razors took over, they often give you, the AI this is, gives you the same kind of marketing spiel that people used to talk about with safety razors. Now, I should already mention at this point, there's going to be a bit of talking, as it is with all my videos, before you get to the unboxing, but you will get your unboxing. And there might be a timestamp for you as well. So sorry about the talking beforehand, but hopefully some of you find it interesting or helpful. So here's my take on the whole marketing and thing. And the other thing they say is, this works out cheaper than the cartridge razor system and so on and so on. Well, I'm going to dispel some of those myths, but also I'm going to come to why I purchased this razor in the first place. I'll also throw in a nice little story from the past. I think it's a nice little cute one along the way too. So in terms of my shaving habits and things, which I think is important when you're considering a razor, I shave every 3 days or so. My skin is sensitive. I can't tolerate shaving every day, otherwise I'll get rashes. I also have very thick hair and a kind of decent beard, if so in terms of its density and things. So to put it into context, there is no way, no way at all I can ever go against the grain. Okay, I've tried it, and it'll give me ingrown hairs. And when I'm unboxing, maybe I'll talk about how the ingrown hair thing actually happens. I don't think people understand it. Not everyone gets them either, and there's a reason for that, which I'll come to later in the video. But the key point is you have to understand your skin, you have to understand your hair texture, you have to understand the direction of your hair, and all these things. It is not the razor that will solve your problems, if that makes sense. The razor is a tool you will use with the knowledge you have about your own skin and your hair type, which will then allow you to solve problems. It is not the soap or necessarily that you use, it is not the brush, and it's not this, that, and the other, which there is a whole community in the double-edged safety razor thing. It's a whole cultish phenomenon, really, and there's all sorts of complexities that they dive into. And shaving, it's not that complicated in my opinion once you figure it out. And there's videos out there that's so long in terms of a guy shaving for 30 minutes, start to end. That's fine if it's a hobby. I'm not knocking it down. If you enjoy it, you love the experience, that's fantastic. But for most of us guys, we want to shave efficiently, nicely, comfortably, and get on with our lives. So in terms of my own shaving, it takes about, I would say, 5 minutes. Okay, and that's from the time I've literally turned the tap on. I haven't even got the razor out yet, anything like that. Just got the water ready in a tumbler or something, and then got my razor out. Everything, like literally start to end, wrap up. I can shave in 5 minutes comfortably, safely, without any issues. So hopefully that gives you an idea of the kind of shaver I am, my frequency, my skin type, hair type, and so on. I should also mention to you my weapon of choice. So I prefer, my favorite razor is this one right here, which we'll come to. Let's see. So this is the Gillette Skin Guard. I would recommend this razor to literally anybody, whether you have sensitive skin or don't have sensitive skin or anything. I think this particular razor achieves the best balance between a sensitive sort of take, so it doesn't shave that close, I must say. Okay, it's not as close as a Gillette Fusion Pro Glide, for example. Okay, which is taking less strokes to get as close compared to the Mach 3. I've tried pretty much every single Gillette razor that's ever been. I haven't tried any other brands either, I should mention. It's only out of coincidence been Gillette through and through. I think the main reason is because I've always found Gillette razors, if you time it correctly, to find like really cheaply on offers and things. And I've never seen Wilkinson Sword and stuff be cheap enough for me to want to consider them at all. Although I've never been biased. But yeah, and that takes me to another point actually. So a DE community, they want you to kind of believe that this cartridge system only came about because they wanted to make more money, and it's all marketing, and that people use this razor or other cartridge systems because they're influenced by marketing. And I just don't believe that. Okay, it's not possible for literally a billion people to somehow be convinced of marketing. What I think has happened is that people who were using DE razors, who actually remember using them, they remember how much more convenient cartridge razors are in terms of how quickly you can shave and how safely. They probably experience fewer cuts, fewer nicks, And with this particular razor, the Skin Guard, which I think is the best razor that has ever made, I've never, ever nicked my skin. Ever. Ever, guys. I have nicked my skin with Mac 3s. I have nicked my skin with Gillette Fusion Pro Glides. Yeah, so not very often, but every, let's say, third shave or something like that, every fourth shave, right? With this Skin Guard, never. I have never nicked my skin. I also don't go against the grain. I can't. My skin's too sensitive. So the other thing is I wanted to mention is that the reason I think you can achieve this is because of the amount of money that Gillette spends in research and development, and they do. I've seen a documentary where they literally, no exaggeration, every single day they study like hundreds of men shaving with a very close-up macro camera and all sorts of things to figure out how to make an even better razor blade. So all that's not marketing because most people don't even know about that because they think it's just adverts. But a lot of research and development goes into making these cartridge blades and making these handles and so on. But the main thing I'm interested is in the amount of research that goes into making this part of the razor blade. And there's a blade behind it which is for edging and stuff, and it's just so useful. And of course, they were the first ones to come up with it. And I think it's easy to take a cheap shot and say, hey, they're trying to stick 10 blades on the razor. And I think to an extent there's some marketing in that. But I also think there's a downside where too many blades cut the hair too close, which is what they're trying to aim for, a close shave, a close shave, a close shave. But then the way it cuts your hair, it gives you more ingrown hairs and also makes you more prone to getting nicks and cuts, in my opinion. So there you go. If you want my opinion on the best razor that's ever been out there for sensitive skin, it's Gillette Skin Guard. Hands down, no doubt about it, and this is my weapon of choice. But curiosity, and just how pretty it looks. I mean, look at how lovely this looks, right? This razor, come on, man. Come on. I mean, you can see that there is a lot more science and technology that's gone into this. Of course it has. It's like a modern car. Okay, you can see there's more science in it. But this one has that old school 1950s kind of vibe to it. It's got its own retro look. It's so nice. But at the same time, we must remember that even if you buy a very advanced car from the 1950s, it may be expensive, it may look pretty, it may be very attractive and speak to you emotionally. Scientifically speaking, whether it's from a 5-star Euro NCAP rating, whether it's carbon emissions, whichever way you look at it, fuel efficiency, it is an inferior car. I mean, a 5-star Euro NCAP rated car, the cheapest one you buy today, is going to be a lot safer probably than some car you buy from the 1950s. It's just how it is because technology moves on and a lot of science goes into it. So I think it's important for me to, before I unbox this, to show you my existing position, which is kind of unbiased if you think about it. Okay, it's biased a little bit towards cartridges because those are all I've always been using. But also, I think I want to dispel the myth of a lot of DE shaving community people will tell you, which is that this works out cheaper, that it's only marketing. Why are you picking the cartridge razor? And I want to say no, you're picking the cartridge razor often because it's safer, it's convenient, it's not marketing. And the costing doesn't really work out either because these guys, they'll spend like £50 on a razor and then the razor blades will be cheap. That's fair enough. But in my case, and they'll also tell you actually things like, oh, the cartridge razor, it's only going to last you 3 shaves before it's uncomfortable. But if I scroll down here, okay, it expects to be able to provide you with 20 comfortable shaves. And I'm completely unbiased about this, and I didn't even know about this number, actually. And they didn't used to say things like this before, actually. A few years ago, they didn't claim how many shaves you could get because they wanted you to just use as many as possible, right? Because why would they stop you? If you think that you can only shave it for 3 and then buy another one, they will let you because they'll make more money that way, of course. But I think people are getting more savvy now, so they have to say this number as well. Personally, I get exactly, without exaggeration, 22 shaves on my face, okay, from one of these cartridge razors. So all my costing and cost effectiveness has to be based on 22 shaves, okay? Whereas a lot of people in the D community will say, oh, I'll only get like 5. And they'll look at their picture and like, your beard's not even that thick. How are you only getting 5? You can't expect a razor to deliver the same level of shaving performance on the first day as you do on day 3. I mean, or the day 5 or whatever. It's just not going to be that way. But you can still get it comfortable for the 20, in my case, 22 shaves. Interesting thing as well is I get 22 shaves, whether I shave my whole face or whether I still keep some parts of my beard and so on, or whether just do that. It's still 22 shaves somehow, but there we go. So I would say before embarking on the cost benefit between cartridge razors and the double edge, and costing wise especially, make sure you know your numbers about how many comfortable shaves you get and so forth, okay? Before you embark on spending way too much money and then realizing 2-3 years later that actually it wasn't that cost effective anyway, and I gave myself loads of nicks and cuts along the way and so on. Okay, one more thing I want to point. I promise you I will get to the unboxing, but I think it's important for me to just share all of my thoughts, and then hopefully that helps you in your decision for the purchase as well. So, interesting thing here. Look, this is what I'm trying to say, right? Was here somewhere? Directions. Okay, so this section right here mentions this is less likely, a sharp blade, less likely to cause shaves and cuts. look here. They don't say anything about cuts at all in this section. This is for the skin guard. And this has been my experience. So you see, it's not all marketing. It's not all marketing. And why would it? I mean, the angle is perfect every single time. There's a guard there. The chances of you experiencing a nick and a cut from this razor is virtually zero. They might not even mention it. Whereas in this case, you can see they proactively mention it. You might get it. I have watched hundreds of videos, literally, like of guys shaving. And these guys have been shaving using perfect technique for like 10 years. And they still nick themselves. In almost every single video I've seen, at the end of it, when they clean themselves up, there's a few drops of blood here and there. And that's why I think people shifted over from double-edged razor to cartridge razor. So why am I unboxing this? Why? Because I'm a curious guy. I always like to experiment, and I want to try and see what this is like. Now, I'm going to have to be careful because this does cause nicks and cuts, and I have sensitive skin. And I think anyone who's watching this video and they want to give this a go, my suggestion to you is be careful, okay? And now, at this point, just before we get to the unboxing, I'm going to share a story with you, okay? So my grandfather had a Gillette Fat Boy, gold-plated, okay? I think it's called the Aristocrat or something. Looked amazing. Looked amazing. I mean, these razors, I mean, if there's one thing about them, they look beautiful. Now, my dad is a cartridge razor shaver, so he gave this razor we found it one day, and my parents are kind of, I don't know, are generous, but also very giving and stuff, and they don't even think twice about the value and things. I think that razor is probably worth now 100 to 200 pounds or something, okay? But yeah, anyway, they gave it away to this close family friend, and because he said, wow, this thing looks cool, and they were like, yeah, you can have it. And then a few days later, he came to a house with a kind of a large cut at the side of his face. And he was like, this cut is from that razor you gave me. And I'll just show you what that razor looks like, okay, guys, looks like this. I mean, look at this beauty. Look at this. It looks so beautiful. And this has got an aggressiveness adjuster right here. So my guess is he, first of all, didn't know how to shave with a double-edged safety razor, which, why would you? Because everyone's been using cartridge razors since ages. And he probably had this on the maximum aggressiveness as well. And then he put pressure on it maybe when he was shaving. But yeah, this one, is the one that was gifted, and yeah, I don't think I think he just kept it as a nice kind of item because it's so pretty, but I don't think he used it ever again because he got himself. So yeah, all I'm saying is, look, guys, be careful when you're using this. Okay, it's called a safety razor, which is slightly ironic because it's not as safe as the cartridge razors. I think it's a kind of misnomer. Call these things safety razors. They were safe compared to maybe a straight-edged razor. Okay, a pure kind of is that what you call them? Straight-edge razor, cutthroat razor. But they're not as safe as a cartridge razor. So hopefully that's made everything very clear. I'm very unbiased in terms of my opinions and what I think about things. I'm not here to position one way or the other. I don't have a double-edged, safety razor shop, which many of these guys do actually. So they'll never knock it down. I'm just here to tell you the honest opinion about what it is. But the reason I bought it is because I still want to try it, and I'm curious about it. One last thing, actually, which was that reminds me of as to why I'm curious about this. Okay, I go to my barbers, and it just so happens, a pure coincidence, all the barbers at my barber shop are female. Okay, all of them. And when they do the back of your neck, right? When they clean up the back and they use the straight edge razor with the half a blade in it, that kind of thing. Well, they're all very good with it. All very good with it. It doesn't cause irritation or anything like that. But one lady, right? The one lady, the way she does it is so gentle, but yet results in such a clean output. I mean, you can't feel a single grain of stubble, okay, the way she does it. And she does it fairly quickly as well. And I'll describe it to you how it feels, okay? It feels like if you just take a finger, from your left hand or something, and then rub it on your right hand, okay, the back of your right hand, okay, just gently. That's what it feels like. Okay, the back of your hand, just rubbing with your fingernail from the left. You can barely feel anything, and it's definitely not unpleasant or scrapey, and it gets the closest shave. So there's a thing in my mind which is like, if you can somehow master that level of technique with one of these, right, where you can achieve a really close shave, where you can't even feel the stubble, and she doesn't even go against the grain, right, and yet you can barely feel the blade going across your skin. I mean, that's perfection. So that is the reason why I'm curious about this. And the second thing, which is very nice of Gillette people to do, is that they give you a money back guarantee. So if you don't like this, they'll give you your money back. So what's there to lose, right? And that's the reason why I've bought this King C Gillette double-edged safety razor. Because if I don't like it, I can always tell Gillette, hey, I gave it a go, right? I tried it. I've been a lifelong customer of Gillette anyway. I'm not going anywhere else, but I'm not going to buy this, and I like that. I'd like to have my money back. And hopefully by me making this video, they've got some publicity, And maybe some of you will buy it and you'll like it and you won't need your money back, right? And you'll be a convert to double edged safety razor because you might be one of those guys where this works perfectly for you. So, been talking about 20 minutes. Sorry about that. But we will now go on to the unboxing and let's do it. Just remember that I did mention I'll let you guys know what really causes ingrown hairs. And so I might as well mention it now. So the first thing you want to keep a track of is how your hair grows, okay? And it's not just the direction, but it is also whether it grows like this or like that. Okay, it's very important. Whether it grows like this, like that. And then, of course, the second thing is hair texture. So if you have a straight hair kind of texture, then, of course, it's going to keep growing like this. If you have a curly texture, it might even be doing that, or it'll go like that, or it could go like that, and so on. Okay, seems trivial, but it's important. So in my case, my hair, if this is the skin and this is my hair grows like this. Okay, it's kind of flat against the skin is how it kind of grows. With a little bit of raisiness, but for the most part, it's like that. If I use like a Gillette Fusion razor or something else like that, it'll cut my hair below skin level because of how close it gets. And it's got all sorts of technology, like a lift and cut system and so on, where the first couple of blades lift the hair and the second and third cut the hair. And all that's true, by the way. It does really do that. So you end up with hairs which are below the skin, okay? Now remember, if your hair grows like this, even if it's below the skin, it's not going to cause any problems for you. It won't cause ingrown hairs. It's not going to cause irritation. In my case, when the hair is growing like this and it's below the skin, when it comes out, it's scraping against the skin as it grows out, you see, because it's flat. And sometimes, not only that, it'll actually dig into the skin and then grow into the skin. And you'll be able to see the hair underneath the skin. And you just have to kind of wiggle it and pick it out so it kind of comes out again. It's kind of easy to do once you know how to do it. But you can literally see the hair growing inside this, and that's because it grows like this, my hair, okay? Now take the example of my dad. My dad's hair grows like this on his face, okay? So he can shave against the grain, no problems. He never gets ingrown hairs, and that's the real reason. People think it's the razor, it's the soap, it's the this, it's the that. You know, it's amazing. Well, I'm quite an obsessive person, actually, and a detail-oriented person, and you know, there's the saying, isn't it? It's amazing what you can observe if you just look, and that's what I became obsessed with because I wanted to stop my irritation, and really that is the number one thing. It is the direction of the hair growth and whether it curls or not. So if you have curly hair and if you have flat growing hair, I mean, forget about it going against the grain. So my opinion is you never need to go against the grain, no matter what sort of hair type you have. I don't think it's ever worth the ingrown hair and the rashes and so on. But if you must, then I think if your hair grows like this, you'll get away with it. If your hair grows flat, I don't think you're going to get away with it. You're going to always get rashes. You're always going to get nicks, potentially, and ingrown hairs and stuff. So you want to pay attention to the direction of your hair. So as you can see, this hair right here is growing this way, okay? You might have a face where it's growing this way on your neck, right? It's sideways. So you have to shave that direction. You can't shave like this. Definitely not like this. This is going against the grain, okay? You want to go like this or down, okay? Or up in this case. In this case, the best angle would be like this and like that, okay? It wouldn't even be this. This is slightly against. This is totally against. So you want to go either like this, or you want to shave kind of slightly to the side like that, if you want to get a little bit of a close shave. So hopefully that helps you prevent future sort of ingrown hairs and stuff. Let's start with the unboxing. I haven't seen inside this box yet myself either, so it's going to be a first time for me too. Okay, let's open this up. There you go. That's the Gillette, the King C Gillette double edged safety razor right there. Let's take it out. There it is. Nice and clear. We're going to take our time with the unboxing, so you can take as much time as you want, pause at different areas if you want to have a look. The light is reflecting off of it nicely, so you can see the textures and things too. Okay, right there. And the other side. The box overall, this is kind of raised to the touch as well. The box overall looks very nice. The details are nice. There is no part of this that tells me it's low quality or anything like that. The pictures are, this is really nice kind of packaging, I would say, in the modern world. It tells you that you get one razor and 5 of these blades. Okay, anti-friction coating at the top, metal handle which lasts a lifetime, 5 platinum coated blades, and anti-friction coating it's mentioned as well. There's some knurling here, but it's not like classic cross where it gives more a sort of grip. It's more like a swirling pattern. We'll see how well that works or doesn't work when I use it later on. It does mention the money back guarantee as long as you kind of have the original receipt. Might potentially be needing that, so yeah, we'll see if we're not happy with this product, etc. But overall, nice little combination of modern versus retro in terms of its design. I think the color of the copper kind of use is nice too. Okay, we've got a trusty cutter here. We're going to go in like so. Oh, struggling a little bit. Okay, I think that's done its job perfectly fine. So it's made some scratches along the box as well. I think in a way that's good. So, you know, in case someone's tampered with your box, it's easy to tell. Ooh, I would have thought it'd be in this direction, but it's actually in the opposite direction. It does look very nice. Okay, it looks cool. These are the blades, I think. Right here. Get a nice close-up. Okay. Fine grooming since 1901. And again, looks a bit like there's a tamper-proof seal. Okay, how does this open then? Am I supposed to go from the top or? Yeah, let's just go from the top. Or is it from the sides? It's hard to tell with these things. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm going to go this way. Okay, there we are. All the blades are out. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. There must be one inside still. Yeah, that's the 5th one. I'll just leave this here for a second whilst we take a close look at the blades. So it's in a paper wrapper, and you can see the logo and things come through. It's flexy. It's kind of lightweight. I'm sure they're sharp. Okay, let's see how we get this out of the box. There's nothing else underneath. And we are going to unwrap it like so, pull these apart, and then pull this out like so. There's a decent amount of weight to it. I think the weight is 203 grams. But yeah, I'll give you a close-up of this in a second. Let's just put this aside gently here, and we'll put the box away too, or at least just behind somewhere. We'll close this up, and nothing else in the box. It's got kind of folded pattern in here. All right, put this away. We'll put this here too. All right, let's get a nice close-up of this razor now, nicely, so you can see all the detail. Take your time, there's no rush. I must say I'm very, very impressed with the finish. The detailing is absolutely spot on. By the way, I will leave some links in the description for you on eBay if you want to purchase any other double-edged safety razors, or even this one. Sometimes people sell second-hand ones or barely used ones and things. But here we are. That's the double-edged razor. Really nice finish, guys. I mean, there is not a scratch, or there is no rough spots or anything like that. Sometimes when you buy low-cost razors, there can be rough patches and rough spots. Cannot see anything like that. But what else do I expect? All my razors that I've ever purchased, you know, they've always had really, really good finishes from Gillette. Okay, there's a label, a paper label inside. You can see some serial numbers or something inside too. Let's open this up. So how is this? Am I going to twist this? Yes. So it's a very tight fit here, very secure. Let's unload it. Okay, that's the screw on the inside. Nothing at the top. Nothing at the bottom, I should say. Oh, look at that. Isn't that finish just literal perfection? Not a scratch in sight. Not even a small one. It's just perfect. Absolutely perfect. I think if anyone else is trying to sell something to you and say, you know, this is brand new, but it's not, it hasn't got this sort of perfection, I would doubt it. Maybe they've used it once or something. Oh, that's fine. But they should just describe it as that, isn't it? Let's remove the paper. So this is how the blade goes in, the same way. We'll put the blade, we'll load the blade up in a second. Okay. Ooh. Just trying to be careful with it, not trying to tear things. Okay, there's even a serial number there. Look at that. A batch number. Oh, interesting. King C Gillette logo at the top. We'll now load up one of these blades. We'll be careful. Make sure we don't cut ourselves or anything like that. Okay. And we'll get a close-up of the blade as well whilst we do it. Okay, so that's blade. You can see a bit of a finishing issue here. I'm sure it doesn't affect the cutting side of things, but you can see this is just a cut I've got from cooking last week. Yeah, a bit of finishing issue here. Okay, so the blade finishing maybe isn't as good as the... Oh, look at this on the other side. Is that the glue maybe? Is that the paper glue? You can see some here maybe. So, okay, but hopefully that doesn't affect the cutting ability. I don't think it matters which side goes down. I think it's sharp either way, but let's load this up. It feels fairly safe to handle, to be honest. It doesn't feel that dangerous or anything. It's got a bit of flex to it. Okay, we're going to arrange this. This is how our granddads used to shave, guys. Right? This is what they did. Okay. This fits in perfectly. we're going to make sure it's completely flat. Okay, we're not gonna have any wonkiness. We don't want any wonkiness here. Gonna make sure it's nice, flat, all sides. I can even handle it from here, from the side. I would suggest you don't do that in case it slips and you cut yourself. But yeah, I've got it nice and tight, nice and secure. Okay, I can definitely feel the blade. All right, it's good. And you can see a bit of overflow on the side here, but it's not that sharp where it would cut you or anything like that, but there is an overhang of the blade. If you wanted to do it really safely, you'd get like a towel or something, you put it in the towel and then you twist it open and twist it close, okay? That way there's no risk of you potentially slipping and cutting yourself, okay, on your finger. Okay guys, so I've just literally shaved with this razor, given it a spin, and I'm going to share with you my thoughts. I've dried it and everything as well, so it's not wet or anything like that. So first of all, the knurling on the sides, no issue at all. I mean, it gives you a good grip, and I would have thought that the cross sort of knurling might give me more of a grip, but this works perfectly fine. And of course, like I've said previously, it looks absolutely gorgeous, doesn't it? I mean, let's just look at it, how beautiful it looks. Like that 1950s kind of vintage classic cars sort of a look. So it's really nice there. Now, in terms of my shaving experience, I did not cut myself with this razor. I did not nick myself with this razor. There was not a single drop, microscopic drop of blood or anything like that. I do think I'm an experienced and quite an adept shaver, so I'm not surprised by that. I think you could potentially, even though I've never shaved with a straight edge razor, I think you could give me one of those and I think I could still manage. But I will give you some tips which you might not find elsewhere to shave with this razor. Number one, you want the blade to do all the work. Okay, it doesn't need any pressure at all. It's almost like caressing your skin with this razor blade, just like so, and it needs literally no pressure at all. So you can see here, I tried it here just before I started the video. You can see all the hair's gone, okay? Whereas on this side here, I still have my hair. So it's just literally just barely touching the skin, just caressing the skin, and that's how you will be doing it. Now, occasionally you might need a little bit of pressure, a gentle press, and you might be able to use that in certain areas of your face, but you definitely want to be careful. In terms of the closeness of the shave, I don't think it's that far off from the SkinGuard. Maybe a little bit, less close, but I mean, we're splitting hairs here, pardon the pun. But yeah, it's very, very close and satisfactory. I didn't think I needed to go against the grain. When I went sideways to the grain, it got even closer. So, I mean, if you really want to get closer than the sort of straight downward motion, go sideways, and it's might as well. It's like going against the grain anyway. Coming to the comfort of the razor, you can feel the blade scraping against your skin, okay, which is a different sensation than if you are using the SkinGuard razor, which is my go-to razor, as I've mentioned in this video. So you can feel it graze against the skin. It doesn't scratch you up that bad in the sense that there's no red patches or anything like that. But give you an example, even 6 hours after you've shaved, if I kind of rub my fingers in the area that I've shaved on my face, I can feel a little burning sensation, if that makes sense. So at a microscopic level, it's probably scraping your skin and doing like extremely small micro tears. But like I said, I've got a bit of sensitive skin anyway, and that's partly the reason maybe. Now, if I compare that to, let's say, the SkinGuard, I would not feel that at all. Okay, so I would not feel the blade really scraping against my skin. And certainly 6 hours later, maybe, in fact, not even 6 hours later, literally like after I've had my shower. I shave before I shower, by the way, but that's fine. Different strokes for different folks. And then even like after I've had my shower, put some lotion on my face, I can't feel any stinging at all, like no rashiness, no soreness, no nothing. And in this case, it's just very mild. Okay, it's very mild. Even like when I do it here, I can feel it later. It's very mild, but I can sort of feel it. But it is nowhere near what I thought. I thought it would be, much more aggressive. I thought I'd definitely nick myself big. Yeah, if you do want to try a double-edged razor, I can recommend you this one, or maybe this kind of shape as well. I will leave a link in the descriptions as well if you want to buy it from eBay. There's so many different options, so many different budgets, so many different companies and manufacturers. You can pick whichever you want, or you can even just go for the King C Gillette if you want to. But if you want to try it out, I mean, this is great. It's fantastic build quality. I can't sort of fault it in any sense. You can't shave with this without concentration, guys, okay? So when I was shaving throughout the whole thing, now, of course, this is my first time. Maybe after 20 times you get used to it. But it did command my attention, okay? And what I imagine this is like, I don't see that really quite going away in the same level as it does with a cartridge razor, okay? I don't think you can half asleep shave with a double-edged safety razor, in my opinion. You can blind out, borderline drunk probably shave with a cartridge razor. But so this always demands a little bit of respect, a little bit of concentration. And again, if you enjoy that kind of being in the flow state and shaving and all your focus being on the shaving, this is probably, this might again be good for you, but it does need more concentration. And if you don't, and I think that if you're not careful, like if you're not paying attention to your grain, which way it's growing or the angles of your jaw and so on, then you might potentially nick yourself or scrape the skin or cause a bit of rashing and so on. So yeah, gentle, delicate strokes, like you're just caressing your skin with the blade. That's the best way to describe it, okay? You don't need any digging or any pressing or anything like that. You might occasionally have curves in your face. You might need to press a little bit, just as I'm doing here, just a little bit, okay? But you don't want to definitely, it doesn't need too much pressure. All you're trying to do is make sure that the blade is touching, caressing even the skin and cutting just the hairs and nothing else like that. Now, the other thing I would say is that if this razor came out, right, a few years ago, before I discovered my Gillette SkinGuard, I might have even, switched over to this actually. It's not too bad in that sense. But, because there's other razors which can give you irritation and so on. But in the presence of SkinGuard, and the sorts of shave it gives me, the convenience of it all and so on, and how quickly I can do it. I can probably get this to 5 minutes as well, probably. But the convenience of it, you don't have to think about it at all. It's very comfortable. It doesn't graze my skin. It doesn't make me it doesn't give me that burning sensation afterwards or anything like that. I mean, it's just a superior shave insofar as I'm concerned, the Gillette Fusion SkinGuard. So yeah, all you guys out there, if you have sensitive skin, I would say buy and try out the Gillette SkinGuard blades if you already have the razor handle, or just buy the SkinGuard, the whole razor and the attachments there. If you want to try double-edged razor shaving, I can recommend you this. This is absolutely beautiful. It is well built. It didn't cut me at all. You have to give it respect, and it does demand concentration whilst you do it. Gentle strokes with least amount of pressure. I can recommend you this. And if you want to try any others out, including this one, if there's used ones people are selling, there will be links in the description which you can use. Helps the channel, but doesn't cost you anything extra. So hopefully that helped you, and we will now wrap up this video. But there we have it. That's the King C Gillette unboxing in all its shiny, chrome finished glory. Helpful? Give it a like, comment, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks, guys.